Is there anything else you'd like to explore or anyone you'd like to speak to while we're here?
We could try to speak to my higher self now.
Okay. Now, I understand that as her higher self, you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Sandra to see today. You chose to bring forward her life as a person living in the mountains, with the stone houses, with wood and the dirt, growing and having a family business with plants and selling those plants and making wines. Why was it important for her to see this lifetime today? What are the first things that you perceive in your mind's eye or your mind's ear? It's the first thought that comes through you.
Why show her this life? I think it's important to see her. It's important for her to see
to see
that
what?
she's lived, or why she is the way she is that she's done it before. She has had good father roles and good mother roles in other lives, and she's had them in this life in many ways. Good mother roles, good father roles.
She's had the same mother and father from this life in past lives playing good roles? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm just saying that sometimes she's felt she didn't have a good father role, and that she lacked a lot of reassurances and strength that can come from having a good father role.
Yes.
So in this life now, she's felt like she's been adrift without the strength that she would have had if she had had a different father, a more respectful and loving and father. But she's had those fathers before. She saw it in that life, this lifetime, and she saw it in that lifetime with the turtle, with the sea turtle. She had another good father then too, very loving. So she has a strength in her. She has a strength in her to be a good father, a good mother figure, a good mother and father figure to those around her when the need has arisen. And the need has arisen for others to look to her for guidance when they've been lacking.
Yes.
So with her daughter, she will continue all her life to be a good emotional support and a good role model for her. But we wanted her to see where some of her strength has been displayed before, where she's experienced it. And there's a lot of strength in leading a family and having to take over from her father, from having to be a support to his mother and his siblings, and the family company. So that's why it was important for her to see, to remember her strengths. Sometimes she forgets her strengths all the time.
Right, that she has those strengths even though she didn't have the role models she hoped for.
Yes, and she's asked us to show her lifetimes when she has had those strengths, so that she can apply them to this lifetime, to some of her work here.
And was there anyone in that lifetime that she knows now in this life as Sandra?
No.
Okay. And before she saw that life, she was guided there by a hawk or an eagle?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about that guide? Who or what was that? Was that a sea turtle in another life?
That was us showing her the way. Because she didn't see anything. She couldn't see anything. So it was just us giving her a little help, a little nudge.
That was nice. And is there any particular reason she was having difficulty seeing something at first?
She's getting better at accessing. But doubts, and that's what makes the blockages. So she couldn't see anything but white fog and dark fog.
Did the dark fog and the light fog, did they represent anything?
No.
Okay.
It's just her inability to
trust,
to let go, to trust.
Okay. And how can she start letting go more in her waking life? How can she start trusting?
There's just do.
Just do
Just
it.
do.
Okay. And I know you want to help Sandra as much as possible. Sometimes telling human beings to just do it is a oversimplified answer for us. What's the first step that Sandra can take to start trusting more?
It's so close, the decision between, the doubts and the yes I can are only millimeters away. So she thinks about it all the time. The why can't I? If she changes from the why can't I to okay, yes, I choose it. Yes, I'll take it. Then she'll be able to access it quicker.
Okay.
Anything she wants. Like, yes, I'll take that. I'm doing it now. That type of thought. way of thinking. I'm doing it now. Yes, I'm doing it.
Understood. And would she be able to call on you again, call on y'all again, to act as a spirit guide for her?
Anytime she wants.
So she can just imagine you leading her as an animal or another being to guide her into whatever visions she's meant to see, to receive messages?
Yes.
Okay. What did Sandra's soul learn from that lifetime as the boy who grew into a man living by the mountains?
Learn a new, it's more like practice, because she's learned these lessons before, that life has, especially this life in human forms, has ups and downs and ups and downs. But you get over the downs and you just get up and continue to move on. So she learned that she can more and more, because she keeps repeating. She has repeated that lesson. Something bad happens, and you take a minute, but then you go on. You continue walking on. And that everything is going to be okay in the end. This is just a learning experience. So don't get caught up by the distress of things. Even losing a loved one. Don't get caught up in the distress of it. Everybody's going to be fine.
She is well taken care of.
Yes, she's always been very well taken care of. Guided and protected.
And how does that soul lesson from that life relate to this life? Relate to this life as Sandra?
Well, I should give her more security in knowing that she can do anything. She can do anything. She has been a leader many times, in the front of responsibilities many times. That's why it's easy for her.
What's easy for her?
It's easy for her to take on and say, oh yes, I can do this. Okay, I'll do that. It's not easy for her to say no, because she feels like, because she has all this ability, then she tends to say, okay, yes, I'll do it. But this lifetime that she's on right now has been also about teaching her to say, yes, I can, but I'm not going to, or I don't need to, because I have to take care of myself. And in this lifetime, there's many times when she's been burned out, felt burnout.
Yes.
And it's burnout because she says yes too much. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. And then burnout. So she's learning balance. She's learning to do, and she's doing a good job. Because it used to be you have to work, and always be productive. And now now at this stage of her life, she's learning to, okay, be productive, but that's not all there is.
Right.
And your value is not in how productive you've been all day. That's not your value. So she'll continue to see, when she remembers this lifetime, that we just looked at, she'll continue to take out what she needs from it. Running her own business, running a family business. I mean, she's run family businesses before, so she's able to run her own business and dedicate time to it.
In her waking life, in her conscious mind, though, does she feel like she's not able to do that?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because she's never done it before. She feels like she's never done it before, so she doesn't know if she can do it. But if she can do bigger things, she can do the little things. Not that this is little, but it's important.
I understand.
But it's not in the scale of what she's done before.
So what is the business that she's meant to carry on with?
What she's doing now. What she's always wanted to do. She's always wanted to work one-on-one with people, to help out, for them to grow, but to also grow spiritually. So she's doing that now in QHHT. She's also doing it with friendships and with family members, one-on-one. So her greatest accomplishments have been on a one-on-one basis, not on a one in public basis. It's just a one-on-one.
Right. In those times with her friends and family, are those always through QHHT?
No. They're just sometimes just being with them, talking with them, spending time with them. Because they always end up, well, they always end up talking about spirituality or self-development together. So they always end up going back. So it helps others. She helps others by being there, by being present, and by talking with them and helping them develop in their own ways. So that's what she's supposed to be doing. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
That's what she's wanted to do. And this life has led her to do that in this manner. And that is good.
Yes, I agree. What?
She had some questions about if that's going to continue. If she's supposed to be painting.
And what do you have to say about her painting?
She needs to develop her own style. She needs to play more with the painting and the mixing of everything, and more good will come of that as she learns more, as she grows more. So but for now it's continue to experiment, continue to grow, but without necessarily always copying other work. Just do your own. Tell her to do her own.
All right, I'll tell her, and she'll hear this message as well. When she's painting, what do you recommend she tries painting to be able to do her own thing?
Whatever she feels should be there.
Whatever she feels should be on the canvas.
I mean, use her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Use your intuition.
What are ways that she can trust or know what her intuition is versus her ego's thoughts?
That's a good question.
Would you like me to rephrase it?
That's something she asked all the time. That's,
I know for others, sometimes you give them a body sensation, or you speak from one side. Is there something that you try to do for Sandra that she hasn't noticed before?
We used to use like a chill on the right side of the head. That's how we used to tell her. Some of us used to tell her when there was a spirit nearby. But we haven't done that in a long time.
Why is that?
She wasn't as concerned anymore about there being disincarnates around. She's not as concerned anymore. She knows what to do. And she trusts her feelings more. When she feels like there's something that's not hers around, then she prays. She knows how to pray and to ask them to go on their way, to take them into the light. So she knows how to do that. So
it didn't seem necessary any longer.
Anymore. But with intuition, she's learning more and more to pay attention to the thoughts that come, or when we're trying to tell her something. She's learning. She just needs to make more silence. She doesn't have enough silence in her life. She's always hearing something, listening to something or watching something. So she doesn't make enough silence, and now just in the last 24 hours she's been trying to make more silence. And that'll be good. That'll help her grow a lot.
To make quiet around her and to quiet her mind?
Yes.
Okay. And until she's more secure and can completely trust and understand what's intuition and what's not, could you validate for her in some way what her intuition is versus her ego thoughts?
Her intuition is this innate knowing.
Okay.
So it's just the knowing. Her thoughts are in her mind. And she has been learning to know the difference
between knowing.
Whether, usually the mind is guided by fear. Usually the ego, because it's the ego's job to protect the being. So the ego is fear-based. And some of the ego responses are fear-based. So that's, she can understand, she can identify that as the mind.
Okay.
But but us, when we speak with her, it's not fear. They're not fear-based. They're not even. They're loving and peaceful thoughts. That's us.
And so she can just speak to her intuition, speak to you at any time.
Yes.
So there's no special way to connect to you.
Meditation, and speak to us in any way, out loud, in your mind. Just, yeah, it would be nice to hear more from her, to ask us more directly. She does it, but she does it like when she meditates. That's 2-3 times a week. But it would be nice to hear from her.
And you recommend her speaking to you more often throughout the day?
Yes.
And she can hear your responses simply by quieting her mind?
Yes.
Okay. So her intuition is your way of connecting with her?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. And we were speaking about her business. Is she meant to have a family business with her daughter in this life? For her highest good?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Not something that is foreseen.
Okay. She is concerned about being able to take care of her daughter in a way that allows her daughter to grow and be confident in herself without needing financial assistance. Can you tell Sandra more about that? And say it out loud for the recording, please.
Oh, she's doing a good job at trying to form another being who's not very, they're not on the same wavelength sometimes. Their life journeys are very different. Their personalities are different. At this time, we cannot answer that question.
Why is that? Should I ask a question a different way?
Yes.
What can you recommend to Sandra for her highest good and the highest good of her daughter? For their relationship as it stands? How can Sandra treat her daughter or do things for her daughter to help their relationship and to help her daughter in her own life?
Continue to be there with less judgment. yes, support emotionally, but less judgment.
Mm-hmm. And with less judgment, will that help Sandra be accepting of their relationship financially for now?
Yes. Sandra struggles with, again, the inability to say no.
Mm-hmm.
The inability to say, I can't do that, or I won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when, especially when her daughter, she feels her daughter needs help, or may always need help.
Mm-hmm. And what is the truth of the matter? Will her daughter always need financial help? What are you showing Sandra right now, or telling her? What's happening?
Trying to access the higher self. Trying to
Access the records?
access, no.
No.
This is me, Sandra, trying to go back to access the higher self.
Okay. It's okay. We don't need to force it. And they tell you, and they've told you, and we know they are always there for you to access. They are always available for us to speak to at any time. I'd like to ask the higher self of Sandra to reconnect the communication so that we may continue to ask questions on Sandra's behalf. And with each deep breath, Sandra takes the relaxation of her mind and her body doubles more and more. Sandra, take another deep breath, relaxing your body more and more. The next deep breath, doubling your relaxation. Again, more and more. May I now speak to Sandra's higher self?
Yes.
Thank you. Over the coming days, I ask that you provide Sandra more signs, information, and clarification with her relationship to her daughter. And we will move on because we do not want to upset you and ask any questions that you do not have access or allowance for the answers for now. We only ask for guidance and direction for Sandra in the coming days when it comes to her daughter and finances. Can you do that for us?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, when it comes to finances and Sandra, she did want to know, where does this limit and ideas of lack and these fears of not being provided for come from? Is this from this life as Sandra or a past life that she lived?
This life mostly.
Okay.
Patterns from parents.
Okay.
Father and mother both.
Mm-hmm. What can you tell Sandra about what she experienced as a child with her parents' patterns and finances?
Okay, she needs to do the work with her, from herself. She knows how to change the recordings from what she learned.
Where did she learn that?
She learned that the resources are limited.
Mm. And
that life is a struggle. But she knows that it doesn't have to be that way. So she needs to go back to her childhood and change, talk to herself. She can go back and talk to herself and give the right messages for them to stay in her brain, replacing the old and wrong messages with new good messages of abundance, that life is very abundant. She has more than what she needs, and she will always have more. She will never be lacking. And to stay in that frame of mind of abundance.
And what can you tell her about her financial situation once the divorce goes through with her husband?
After that, which may or may not happen, it should happen. She knows that, she feels that it should happen, so that she can start a new life, and he can be free to start a new life.
What would cause it to not happen?
If they really don't want to. But I feel that she knows that we feel that she knows that that it's a good thing for it to happen. What's going to happen afterwards? She's always going to be safe. She's always going to be taken care of by him and by herself and by her work.
By her work as what? Doing what?
Whatever she wants to do.
Okay. And does Sandra need to do anything in particular to secure her husband continuing sending funds?
Trust.
She needs to trust him.
Yes.
To do the right thing.
Yes.
She doesn't need to put any amendments or stipulations in the divorce decree.
There are some things that she can do and she should do. She needs to do. And she will.
Can you tell us what those are, please, for the recording?
Request more things in writing. She knows what that means.
Anything else?
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Why should she prepare for the worst if what you see is that he'll take care of her?
It'll give her peace of mind.
Okay.
Just because it'll give her peace of mind.
Okay. And how can she prepare for that peace of mind?
Take your time. Take your time. Everything doesn't have to be done in a few months. So take your time to think more. Don't be in a rush. Don't be pushed to be into a rush. Things will come in their own time. Knowledge, ways. She'll be able to see ways in their own time.
She'll be able to see ways.
How?
Ways of preparing in her own time.
Yes.
Okay. And she wants to know also, what is her purpose in life? What is she meant to learn in this life that we haven't already discussed?
Keep seeing patience.
How will patience help Sandra with finding and fulfilling her purpose? Or is patience the lesson she's meant to learn?
Patience is one of the lessons. Non-judgment is another lesson. Which she strives hard to get. She's doing a good job. They still keep working on it, on non-judgment. Another lesson that she wanted to learn was unconditional love.
She wants
patience with herself. Because she can be she can lose patience with herself. Not as much as with others, but with herself, yes.
What can you tell her about being able to find more patience for herself?
Well, the more loving you are to yourself, the more you see, the easiest it is to love, to be patient. So it's important to continue to learn love yourself.
Mm-hmm. And she wanted to know, she's got some discomfort in her hips, and sometimes the pain radiates to her knee. Can you please tell us where these discomforts come from and why?
The thinking of you can't do it, can't do this, can't do that, don't know how to do this, don't know how to do that. That is a type of stuff that makes you limp. That makes you pain. So change that chip. Change that way of thinking. Because if you think about it, you can do anything. You can be an astronaut if you want. You can be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is possible.
Yes.
Even the thought of I don't have enough time. Yes, there's always enough time. You don't have to do everything in one day, but little bits and pieces in one day, and then in another day, and then another day. Before you know it, the whole thing is done. So stop saying I can't.
Where does this come from, this idea that she can't do something?
There we go again. It's self. Some messages she's heard in this life, like some of them she's felt, like unworthiness, feeling dumb. There's things that she may have experienced in other lives where other people told her that. And then for sure in this life, in childhood, and even in adulthood, when people didn't, even some people told her she was dumb, and some people made her feel as if she was dumb. So when you start believing these thoughts, that's when trouble happens. So how to change them? Well, change the thoughts. Thoughts are things, and they can be changed.
So
it all goes back to that. It's it's all about changing the thoughts, saying yes, I can do this, I am able to do that, I am capable, and I am worthy, and I am successful at doing things.
So how do we help Sandra with this today so that she can walk away pain-free and more comfortable? What can we help her understand to be able to heal this now?
That she is capable of doing anything. That she received some messages that were wrong. They were just wrong. They were errors. So they shouldn't exist. And they don't. They can float away.
Can we help her make those thoughts float away now?
Yes.
How are you doing that?
Helping her reprogram.
Mm-hmm.
Remove those energies.
Mm-hmm.
Remove those thoughts from her vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
Erasing them and removing them from the cellular memory.
Thank you. I know she's going to really appreciate that. Now, once the thoughts are removed, will we be able to heal the hips and the knee pain?
Yes.
Thank you. Have you started on that now?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Just removing old energies.
Removing the old energies?
Mm-hmm. And she has to do her part by applying new energies.
How does she do that?
By knowing that she can, and that she can march. She can do anything. She could march, walk, march along with new ways of thinking.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. How can we get her to start doing that now? So starts doing that today.
By using positive affirmations in her own life.
Mm-hmm. Can you give her some examples of affirmations she can use?
Like, I am powerful. I can do anything I put my mind to. I can do this. I can and I will.
Mm-hmm.
In a positive and harmonious way. Make anything happen.
And have you finished removing the energies from her mind and reprogramming?
Yes.
Thank you. And have the hips and the knees been healed as well?
Still working on that.
Okay. Is it okay if I continue asking questions?
Yes.
She's also having some discomfort in her lower back and her coccyx. Can you tell us what the cause of this is?
Sitting in old thoughts.
Sitting in old thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Sitting in old thoughts.
Which thoughts is she sitting in?
It's the same ones.
Okay.
That kept her from advancing.
Mm-hmm.
And that have affected her body.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in old thoughts, so we need to change that. She needs to change those thoughts again with positive affirmations.
Have you already removed those old thoughts and reprogrammed her mind? Or are there different ones that she's still sitting in?
They're the same.
The same. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're healing the hips and the knees, you'll also be able to heal the lower back and the coccyx?
Yes.
Thank you. And she's been practicing her healing gifts. And she wants to know, how can she heal herself and heal others better?
Help heal others. by making quiet and doing more meditations with healing and asking for help from those healing angels and healing guides.
Mm-hmm.
But really, truly taking the time to relax and receive.
Mm.
She's been doing a good job, like in the on her own in some meditations. So continue working on that. Continue working on them.
And how will she know that she's healed after you're done with healing her hip and lower back area?
She will feel it in over the next few days.
Okay.
She will feel a change.
Okay. And how will she feel different now that you've removed the old programming and cleansed her mind of the old thoughts?
It's going to affect her in many ways, and she will see a change, especially in her mind, in her thought processes. But she needs to continue. She needs to do her part. Continue to think in a more positive in more positive ways.
Okay, you're doing great. Sandra's doing great. She wants to know, when she's channeling healing energies for others and for herself, what is a way that she will know that the healing worked?
Well, there's going to be an absence of pain, an absence of feeling ill. A more positive and lighter movement.
We have a couple more questions, but I want to check in and make sure Sandra's doing okay. How is her body?
Fine.
And we can continue?
Yes.
Okay. She wants to ask also, she's noticed lately that she has difficulty leaving her home and going out of town, or leaving and traveling. Can you explain why that is?
She's in her mind a lot. She spends a lot of time in the mind. In the mind is where the ego sits. Ego. And the ego is full of fears. So she needs to repeat, I am fine, I am safe, wherever I am, wherever I go. I am safe, my home is safe, and my home will be here when I come back. And my dogs are safe and loved. So it's a question of feeling safe, but it's important to go out and see the world. It's important to get out of your comfort zone, because she always knows, she always comes back more grown, and she doesn't realize it. She always comes back having learned more and having grown more.
So it's for her highest good to be able to get out more.
Yes.
Well, where does this fear originate from? Can you show Sandra glimpses of a past life or of an event that happened in this life that this fear comes from? What are you showing her? What's happening?
I see like a male figure looking back. He's looking back, like turned around and looking back.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened to his home when he left. So the home, so it was never the same. So it wasn't like the way he left it. So something happened when he went away to his home. So that's why it's important to know, for her to know that she is safe. And no matter what, your home is where you are. The same thing is not necessarily going to happen again. Those were lessons learned in a different life. But you are safe. And remember, there's no past, present, or future. So even when you lose something, it's always there. Someplace. It's always someplace. So the way to access it is to look for it. But don't be consumed by these fears of leaving your home. Your home is always going to be there, no matter what happens. And your home is really, that's just a house. That was just a house and something. But your home is actually where you are, where your heart is, where your soul is. Okay? So you're always home.
Do you feel that Sandra understands and has learned these lessons now?
Yes.
So is she ready to have this fear healed and removed?
Yes.
Can you do that for her now, please?
Yes.
Thank you. And how are you doing that?
Removing remnants of energies.
Okay. The next question we have is, she had wanted to take a trip to Iceland and was feeling a little bogged down by the traveling time and the distance, and perhaps the financial ability to be able to do it and make it happen. Why does Iceland calling on her heart?
It's from a physical point, the geology. That's mostly it, the geology.
What about the geology?
It's different, it's beautiful. It's very unique in the world.
And will traveling there be for her highest good?
It's not necessary.
Okay.
Everything could be for your highest good.
How so?
Anything can be for your highest good. You can, as you are beings that always seek growth, you can have growth anywhere. Anywhere.
And what can you tell her about her reservations or hesitations on the traveling to Iceland?
Well, she's got the right idea. Is that she'll know, because her intuition is very good. Just like when she traveled to Sedona, she was absolutely sure that that was the best thing for her.
Understood.
She will continue to, if she thinks about Iceland again. She's not thinking about it right now anymore. Well, she was considering it up until yesterday. But as she thinks about it more, she'll be able to make a good decision to see if that's for her highest good or if it's just not necessary.
Okay, understood. And she did want to know about the extra weight on her chin. She wants to be able to lose it in a healthy way, and was wondering about plastic surgery. What can you tell her about this?
Does she want us to remove it?
She would like it removed. Is that something you can do for her?
In a safe and harmonious way?
Yes.
Yes.
How will you be doing that?
Magic.
When can she expect to see results?
Immediately.
And when can she expect to see it completely gone?
Very soon.
Very soon is a relative term for many people. Could you give us a relative or...
Weeks.
Okay. Do you know about how many?
2.
Thank you. When you found out that Sandra was going to be having this appointment today, what were you hoping she would get out of it, or learn, or experience?
Contact. Easy contact. That how important thoughts are. Thoughts are very important. Strength, abilities that she's had before and she has always with her, because she carries all the strengths from all the lives that she's ever lived. So everyone, it's the same for everyone. One carries all the strengths from all the lives one has ever lived, and all the experiences. So the moment you want to access something, just access it. She did it, but she forgets things.
Yeah.
She did it a few days ago or weeks ago when she said, I know I have lived other lives, so I want to have the strengths that I had in other lives for me to be able to do this X. So that's it. She got it right. She got the right way to access. But she forgets to do things like that. And then she forgot. But yes, repeat it. Keep doing that. Keep saying, I know I've lived many lives and I've had many experiences. So now I want to access those abilities to be able to do Y or Z.
And just like that, she has it.
Yes, everybody does.
That's beautiful. Is there anything else you like her to walk away with from this experience?
Growth. You're doing well. You're doing so well. Continue to grow. Continue to learn. We are here to loving you, support you. You have unconditional love all over, all around you. Day and night, night and day. You're always supported. You are always loved. It's important for you to continue to learn and love yourself, and to cuddle yourself, to treat your inner child, and to see her every day and give her good messages, give her good skills. So continue to grow and nurture that child that you have. Remember, there's no past, no present, no future. I mean, it's all together. So you can have access to any time that you want. Any stage of your life, you have access to immediately. So use it all for positive.
Thank you. She also wants to know about how she can be a healthier weight, and what you have to say about that, about the extra weight on her body.
She's not that concerned about her weight because she feels that she's fine.
Okay.
She just doesn't want to gain more to cause the heart more struggle or a struggle. But she's, as far as looks, she's not a person who has a negative body image.
Okay, that's good.
She's learned that, and she doesn't need. It's okay to have more muscle and more meat around your bones. So that's good. We're just going to try to help her. We're just going to help her maintain a healthy weight.
Okay. I'm sure she would appreciate that. And she wants to know about her smoking habit. What was the cause of it, and is it something that she can release now in her life?
Loneliness. Loneliness is a big issue. But big reason for her to smoke. And as she smokes, she's like, she doesn't like it. Usually she doesn't like it. It's not for the taste of it or anything like that. But it's the loneliness. So the more she works with her inner child, the more her inner child will be strengthened. and she will be strengthened. And she's going to want to let go.
She'll be able to let go of the smoking once she's strengthened her inner child and herself.
Yes.
Where does the loneliness originate from?
Many lifetimes and this lifetime.
Is it something that gets repeated so that she can learn the lesson of she's not alone? Or is it something that just gets repeated and compounds each lifetime? Should I ask differently?
It's something that keeps repeating so that you learn that you're not alone. Until you learn that, okay, I don't have to have other people. I am here. I am enough.
Can you show her that lifetime where this loneliness originated from? And tell me about that life. What happened to make her feel lonely?
It could be, I could give him, there's many, hundreds of examples.
Give me the first.
I can give you the most recent. And the most recent is when she lived in Venezuela and she felt like she was alone. There was nobody else who really, really had her back over there. And her husband didn't have her back. She didn't feel that her husband had her back.
Yeah.
Again, what she needed to do is be her own advocate, her own best friend, her own love. And that's why it's important for her to work on her inner child, because she'll also be working on her inner young woman.
What can we do now today to help her heal some of these?
The realization, this realization.
Is she accepting and understanding it now?
Yes.
So we can heal these parts of her.
She'll be going back to that girl.
Okay.
She will be going back to that girl and to loving her, tell her that she's everything she needs to tell her. So that will help.
Okay. Thank you.
But she needs to remember to, just as she's talking to this girl, she needs to remember to be in that girl's position and to receive these messages.
How do you recommend she does that?
To put herself in that girl's position as she is receiving these messages.
Is this something she would do in the mirror, or is this a visualization experiment?
It's a visualization.
Okay.
But she can also use the mirror.
Okay. And is it necessary for her to stress about the smoking for now?
No.
Does she need to be concerned about other people's opinions of her smoking?
No.
Okay. Is there anything about Sandra's health, anything going on in her mind or body that we need to address today and have not asked about?
No, she's good.
Okay, wonderful. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you had hoped we would ask?
There was a question about her continuing to be part of that group.
With the ballet folklorico? What can you tell her about it?
You will know. When classes start again, you will know.
She can trust her intuition on it.
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell Sandra before we let you go today? Any parting words or messages?
No, we said it before. We talked to her before.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.